I am live. Well, we'll just see about that. Now I am live. Good morning. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Tina. Always good to see early birds in. Oh, I thought Mark's not here yet, but I thought I'd just pop on and say hi. So, how's everybody's weather? Anybody had any nastiness this week? We had a major storm, or maybe I should say storms, pass through here. Let's see, Wednesday, Brenda and I had to go to Morristown, which is down the road a little ways, because she was getting her new driver's license. And as we were eating some lunch, we looked off to the northeast and saw just an unbelievably black cloud or group of clouds, thunderheads, and it was moving over us. Hey, Chuck, good morning. And it didn't where we were sitting. It just we barely caught it, but within quarter of a mile from where we were sitting as we started home, the road suddenly started getting wetter and wetter, and then then standing water, but it had already stopped raining, but the water that was running, standing in the fields and running across the road, and every little swale was unbelievable. I don't know how much rain got dumped in our area within just must have been minutes. And I spoke with Philip. Actually, Phil. Actually, we had already spoken to Philip or texted with him, and the same thing was happening to him. But he lives oh 60 miles southeast of me, and or west rather. And so it was happening down there too. And I can't remember if he told me how many inches of rain that fell there, but it was also accompanied by some spotty tornadoes. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever followed Sarah, the pilot, young pilot that we used to be our neighbor. If you follow her Instagram sites or anything, um, the storm hit the airport where she flies out of a lot, the small little grass strip airport where she learned. Well, anyway, where she flies out of a lot. We call it Sky Ranch. It's down on actually literally on a small island in the river, uh, or Fort Loudon Lake, if you want to call it that, but it's part of the Tennessee River. And they got hit by a tornado. Um, she said, now I don't know if that was confirmed by the, um, hell, I don't know who's even confirming weather these days since they fired so many people at NOAA. But anyway, the Weather Service, and they had some damage. Some airplanes messed up, looked like some hangars, buildings that were torn apart and laying on the ground. I didn't In fact, I'll look right now. I asked her if the airplane she flies in all the time was damaged. Don't know if she responded to that yet. She's a busy, busy girl. Um, in fact, I can't imagine I'm not. I thought I was busy in school, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody quite as busy as her. Brenda can attest to that if Brenda is here. Hey, Julie McGowan. What? Good morning. Welcome in. Hang around with us for a while. Um, but no, she's not answered me. She has much, much bigger fish to fry these days, I'm quite sure. But anyway, because Phil had asked me if I knew if her airplane was damaged. So I asked her. Maybe I'll hear from her. But we had some nasty weather. I don't know how much it rained here. I don't know. We meant to check the basement when we got home. I don't know if we did. We have a little. We sometimes get a little bit of Uh, we have a leak in the basement. We don't. It doesn't get a lot of water down there, but we have some corners that get damp and sometimes are wet. Um, the floor gets a little damp or wet looking, but it's not. It doesn't stand in water, but still, we need to try to seal it up. But we meant to look at that, and I don't know if we did. It's rained so much that I went a couple times now this week, and it seems to be coming in big spurts, and then it'll quit for a while, and then we'll get another big patch. I mean, as in a while, like it might quit for 24 hours, then we may get another one. But it's been enough that as I walk from the library down to the house 2 or 3 days this week, the water was still standing, and I live on a hill now. I mean, this house it's a slope between here and the big house, and it's a slope from up on the hill through the woods down all the way to the highway. And there was water standing out here, even on this slope. There was still water standing in the yard. So I was splashing down through, to get to the house. And when we came home that day, it wasn't raining here when we got here, but there was still water standing. So it's been pretty wet the times it has rained. And here we thought we'd had. I mean, we'd had some dry spells. I don't know if we would have considered ourselves droughty yet. I think that's a relative term depending on where you live, to be honest. But we had a lot of rain, and we've had a lot of rain and hard rain. But that one Wednesday was pretty spectacular. The water we ran through, and the water we saw standing in the fields all down the road. Um, if we'd been in the West, that much rain would have caused a lot of really bad flash floods and arroyos and little sloughs and whatnot. I don't know whatever they call them out there, arroyos mostly, but gullies and whatnot. That could have been bad because it was pretty bad here. I mean, we didn't get blocked. There were no roads blocked, but there was water standing in enough spots that a little bit more, and it could have been nasty. And the fields were just swamped. Any low spot. I'm sure the creeks around here, within a couple of hours, the creeks here must have been really swollen and running full because, that's where it all goes. So, funny thing about that was we noticed that very morning as we left here, the lake's just over the ridge here, and Cherokee Lake or Cherokee Reservoir, and we are 1 week past Labor Day, and the way these reservoirs work, they drop them in the winter for flood control, and they try to have them up before by Memorial Day weekend is general rule to be full, so everybody's happy they're full. And if you live along the lakes, all these people complain if they get low. So, but they start dropping them down to a certain level by Labor Day or after Labor Day. And Brenda and I both noticed the lake was down already. And I bet it came back up. I should have looked at TVA's website. Could have been able to tell Cherokee had bumped up, but it was going. But I'm thinking it was going to be spotty because the rain. Like I said, we were sitting in a parking lot watching it, eating our lunch. We get lunch sometimes and just pull into a parking lot somewhere where it's out of the way of traffic and maybe in the shade, and we sit and eat. And that's what we had done. And within a quarter of a mile, we started hitting the rain. So we got literally nothing. And then a quarter mile away is where it started. And just above that, they got hammered. So anyway, I'm just sitting here babbling, rattling along. How you doing, Chuck? How's things going, buddy? Julie, if you're still in here, what part of the country do you live in? Not looking for specifics, just general. That's a shame. I'm glad no injuries, though. You're talking about the rains and the flood, or the storm? I'm not aware of any. If Carol, if I'm back on the right page here, she didn't mention anything, and I haven't heard anything, so I'm guessing no injuries it's possible that nobody was even down there at that time of day. In the middle of the week, there's probably somebody there, but I'll have to ask Phil and see if he heard. She said tornado. He said he wasn't sure. I don't think he said used the word tornado. Michigan, but your hub's family is in Sweetwater, Tennessee. Oh yeah, that's good. I'm glad you guys had a good trip up to the Wellesley. I used to work with several people from Sweetwater, Julie. Yeah, cool. That's not too far from us. I mean, I used to work in Lenore City was my office for a while, a long way from where I worked mostly. But Sweetwater was just 20 miles maybe south of there, something like that on the interstate. There's some cool things around Sweetwater. It's where oh, what's the cave? There's a famous cave that's down there that you see signs along highways for. Um, we went down there once. Then there's a big flea market down there by the interstate. Um, the Lost Sea. Thank you, Julie. That's it. And that's kind of an interesting. I'll give it. Have to kind of put it in the category of tourist traps or places to be drawn into. And we had avoided it for years. But Brenda and I went there once because Brenda always says Dad never would take me there, so we went. And it's kind of interesting. The cave itself, oh, the flea market is gone. Oh, that's sad. I wasn't sure it was still there. We hadn't been there quite a while. Um, but we did stop. There's a lot of, there's several places where you can stop and pan for gold and pan for jewels. And they'll sell you a bag of dirt and you can sift through it and see what you find. And what we came home with was a whole bunch of amethyst, mostly chips and flakes and some small stones. We always wanted to polish some of them up or have a couple of rings made out of them, but we never did. Every once in a while, somebody finds a piece of gold in this neck of the woods. We're not really in our area. You have to go a little bit south of us and then or east into the Carolinas to get into. The first gold rush in the United States. Everybody thinks about the 49ers in California, but first gold rush in this country was actually in North Carolina and or North Georgia. I may have mixed up, but there was some in Carolina. Oh, we did that, Julie, just up the highway from where the flea market used to be. Well, near the Lost Sea area, but I can't remember the name of the spot we stopped in. But anywhere around here, you go into the edge of North Carolina, and they're kind of famous for that kind of stuff also. Uh, I used to go over there and look for rocks. I thought I was a rock collector when I was a kid. I never had anything special, but uh, yeah, I don't know if you find it's not like if you go to Arkansas, there's places where you can go in and buy dirt and they'll sift through it and people find diamonds. Arkansas is actually there's I think that's the most likely place in North America or the United States where you can find diamonds. And you think the geese up at Wellesley are starting to head south? Now they may be. Um, I know it's not the same birds, it's not geese, but our hummingbirds have been. I think our hummingbirds are moving in and out. Good morning, T-Town Mary Ellen. Welcome. Yeah, ask the hubs about that, Julie. Um, he may know, but I mean it. There, I can't remember the name of that place. It was right on the highway where we stopped. Again, that was one of those trips where we stopped at some roadside attractions, let's say, because we never do that. And Brenda's dad was a truck driver, and anytime and they traveled some, go to a few different places, visit family, uh, like up to Michigan. They had family up there for a long time, and sometimes they went to Florida. They had family in Florida. And but anytime they went, they go see like Sea Rock City signs. And Brenda said she always wanted to get him stopped. He never would stop because he always said, "No, no, I drive," because he drove everywhere and he went places and he saw things like that, but he didn't like to stop when they would go traveling. He didn't. He felt like he'd already been there, done that, even though he probably never had stopped there. So she's always wanted to see Rock City or Ruby Caverns or you know, the Lost Sea. So we've done a few of those things off and on. And so, you know, it's just kind of fun. So we went down there that day and we did that. I can't remember. One of our daughters was with us that day we did that trip because I remember us saying, well, I think it was Kelly was with us, and I remember one of us saying, well, I bet Jen would like this. I can't remember why she wasn't with us. But sporting a U of M T-shirt. Well, good for your husband. He's got good taste in clothing. I bet I know what color it is too. So where I do too, Carol. I hope they do too. So who's Michigan playing today? I don't even know who Tennessee's playing. I'm not good at keeping up with it. I got to make sure. I need to check the TV and see if I can record the game. Oh, they're playing ETSU. Oh, that's right. When I was in Johnson City, we were also in Johnson City this week, and that's where and there were a couple people in the store I was in discussing where the ball game was, and I said, "Who are they playing?" And it was Tennessee. And one of the guys said, "Well, you know, they're not playing up here. They're going to go to Tennessee." And that's the thing. Some of the smaller universities, it's still a thing. They like to go to some of the bigger colleges like Michigan, Tennessee, because they're famous for having huge stadiums and they draw big crowds. And the visiting team always gets a cut. So if you go to a smaller school, you don't get as much money as you do if you go to a bigger school. So people like to do that. Yeah, I knew it'd be Tennessee Orange. Oh, you guys are playing Oklahoma. You're playing I think they're in the Southeastern Conference now, aren't they? I think they started this year. If they're not, it's next year. Yeah, Texas and Oklahoma both are in. Well, Texas I think was last year, and this year Oklahoma. Don't ask me why they have picked up so many, but and I kind of hope they're through. To be honest, they've been adding teams, and now we're up to about 16, maybe. Um, and they've added. Let's see, the university. Let's see, Texas A&M is now in the SEC. Arkansas, well, Arkansas always was. Well, mostly was. They went out for a while. Texas, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State's not. Anyway, it's really grown. We always wanted to stop and see Ruby Falls and see Rock City, Lookout Mountain. I'm trying to get. Oh, I can't. Hang on. There, Rock City, Lookout Mountain on our way to Florida. When I was growing up, parents wanted to get to Florida faster. Yeah, that's the thing. I tell you who did a really good. Jen and Dale, Resort TV One Jenna and her husband Dale posted a video on their website a few months ago. Brenda and I actually watched it, and they went to Rock City. I don't know if they went to Ruby Falls, but they did go to Rock, which are in the same area. They did go to Rock City and Lookout Mountain, and did a really good video and a little tour of Rock City. So Brenda said, "Well, I guess I don't have to go there now." Hi, Brenda. Welcome in. Don't say there, Carol. Brenda. Carol. What I was saying. She didn't get to go see them, so she wants to go. But you told me after you saw Jenna and Dale's video of it, you probably didn't need to go see it now. They also stayed at the Chattanooga Choo Choo in Chattanooga, and they stayed in one of the rail car, the old converted, well, not converted, yeah, I guess converted railroad cars down there that they've got, which was kind of cool. I'd like to do that. And you don't need to go see them now. But I would still take you. We need to. I would, if we were down there again, we'll go. Or because they didn't go to Ruby Falls. Oh yeah, since she's in here now, we'll talk about that a little bit. I think they did a really good job. Uh, I haven't looked. I've looked at some. They posted quite a few pictures on Facebook, and the different people have posted. Brenda and I didn't even take a camera. Well, we took our phones, but we didn't take any pictures. I didn't anyway. There were so many people taking pictures, I figured we'd get something that way if we wanted it. But there was also a young lady who worked for the venue where it was held, and she was taking photographs, and she was going to post them, and you can buy them from her or have them printed from her. I looked the other day; they weren't posted. I'll have to find that. I will find that address. We got this. This was part of the things we got a class of 76 50th anniversary class directory. So actually I've been looking through it. There are quite a few people in emails now that I didn't know how to get a hold of before. We were trying to figure out how many people were there. Brenda, have you seen anything posted about that? Oh, Carol says she stayed at the Choo Choo. Oh, same year. The boys were super into trains. It wasn't very comfortable, but it was worth it. So did you stay in a rail car, Carol? One of the converted cars, or were you in the hotel itself? Sometimes we got rooms at the chat. We used to have some of TVA's office buildings. They have some big buildings in Chattanooga also. It's where the aquarium is. And we used to go to meetings there. And I was thinking sometimes people got put in the Choo Choo because there weren't any other places to stay, but not in the train rooms. Those converted train rooms, I think, cost more. Anyway, we were trying to figure out about how many people were there, and we have figured out that I think our graduating class was about 240 something. Don't ask me why, but for some reason 249 keeps popping up in my head. And out of those 249, I think I'm going to say about half the class was there. But the thing that makes that more significant is 1/5 of our class is no longer with us. They had a table set up, and well, this was just the whole thing. But is this the right paper? Yeah, they did them in memory section. And here, this page, this is all of our classmates who have passed away. It's unbelievable. I counted them up. There's 40, almost right at 50 that I know of for sure. And I didn't count their list to see if it agreed, but no, 52. So, there's 20% of us are gone already. So that left, let's say 200, and I would say a little over half. So I think a little over 100 people were there. I think I'm not positive of that, but they had a lot of door prizes. They collected a lot of door prizes to hand out. Brenda, what was the big one they were giving away? Because you said you wanted to hold out for that. They gave away a trip somewhere. Appetite the ribs, at least that doesn't make any sense. Brenda, say that again. She's speaking into her phone, and I don't need to go because I don't appetite the ribs, at least that many. Oh, you're saying at least that many people. I don't know about the appetite the ribs. I don't get that. No, they didn't. There was no trips. I was kidding. Oh, you were kidding about that. I thought you were serious. Thanks. I made a fool out of myself. There were at least that many people. Yeah, I think there were. So, yeah, that was good. Brenda, you give your opinion. We ran into some people that there were a few people there that I was really hoping would be there that we would see, at least a couple, and they were there. One of them was a friend of ours, Professor William Hart. Brenda had classes with him. I probably had some, but we know him as Willie. Willie left high school, went to University of Tennessee, got a degree in agriculture because she had classes with him, and Brenda took agricultural classes in high school. She was in the Future Farmers of America, and she did a lot of that kind of stuff. And Willie was one of the up and comers of that class, I'll have to say. And anyway, he went on to Purdue. Pretty sure it's Purdue. If I'm not, I apologize. I believe he's got a PhD in agriculture, and he's a professor at UT. And I used to, we went to high school together, and then 20 something years later, we ran into each other, or we were at the same university because he was a professor there while I was going to school in my classes. So he was there, which was good because we kind of lost track a little bit. And I was wanting to find him because I just always liked Willie. And there were a few other people there that we were glad to wanted to see. I have to admit, sadly, most of my friends growing up weren't there. Most of the guys, none of the actually, no other of the none of the other guys I ran around with in high school uh, made it. The guys I rode motorcycles with, one of them was there. I did run into one guy that I used to ride motorcycles with, and he and I had a good talk. He was still what's that about? Oh, great about seeing Will. Yeah, well, funny story, Carol. Sorta to me. We lived in Nashville. We moved to Nashville in 1980. And Willie was actually, as it turns out, Willie was working doing his Purdue stuff and working on finishing up his degrees at Purdue about that same time. And we would drive from Nashville to Johnson City, a lot back then. And 2 or 3 times a year, we would stop at this one particular rest stop, usually a place where the girl either we needed to stop or the girls needed to stop um, along the interstate, and we'd run into Willie there. He'd be traveling too, and it was just weird. We ran into him several times like that. It was just always funny. So we would get to see him and talk to him from time to time. Good morning, Dave. Now I'm going to say this wrong. Is it I can't even talk. Stragand? Can't stay, but dropped in to leave a like and say hi. Well, thank you very much for that, Dave. I really appreciate that. And come back again when you can stay longer, as we say up here. Oh, another Michigan man. How about that? Now, he would be a Michigander, whereas you and Julie would be uh, Michigese. No, Michigese is plural for Michigoose. You'd be a Michigoose too. It would be Michigese. That's a discussion we had a long time ago in some other chat rooms. Rhymes with Raygund. Okay. Stragand. Carol, do you remember that? I don't know if you were there. Yeah, Lynn was, what was her show called? That used to be in fact, this spot's her and, oh my God, my mind's not working today. Her and another guy used to be in the chat rooms, Disney chat rooms a lot. Had a show at 10 o'clock, and that's the show I took. Or not, it's kind of the spot I took when they stopped. And I have cups from that. Anyway, somewhere. She's from Michigan, and because of her and you and some other people, I thought it was you that were from Michigan, that came up about being Michiganders. So I got to thinking about that. A gander is a male goose. And so you got goose, they just call the females a goose, and then there's a gander, a goose and a gander. So I figure if there's Michiganders, those would have to be male people from Michigan, and so females would have to be Michigese. Made sense to me. Sorry, Dave. I thought you were from Michigan. Oh, he was. He's not. I apologize, Dave. Pittsburgh. Oh, he does car content. Well, that's cool. I need to check that out sometime. I don't know if I put. Please, by all means, Carol, if he has a web page or if he does a show or something, put it by all means, put a link in if you have one. Um, there's a lot of people that were in the Disney channels and Disney stuff. Hey, John, that were from the Pittsburgh area too, like Jeff and Ange and their family, and Amy, I think, is from what's her AGC Disney Magic or something. You guys know what I'm talking about. Amy that does the trivia stuff some nights. She's from up around Pittsburgh, which is I learned something from folks in Pittsburgh. They say Ewans a lot. Apparently that's a term. And down here, I don't know if we use it the same way, but there were people that used to say Ewans down here, and I used to get smacked because my mom didn't want me saying Ewans. She said that doesn't say you know better than that. It's not Ewans, it's you all or you or just you. Thank you. Thank you, Carol. I will go check that out. I don't know if I've been on his page or not. And if I haven't, I apologize. If he does car talk, I'm sure I'd be no, but I will now. Oh, I got so Dave, if you're still here, yeah, AJC Magic TV. Thank you. Um, oh, Doug is from Pittsburgh. I thought Doug was from Ohio, but see, that's all I know. What I know about it. Maybe he's from Pittsburgh. Or maybe he lives in Pittsburgh now. I don't know. Yeah, if you're ever in Chattanooga, Dave, go check out the tow truck museum. Tow truck is what I'd call it. Record. There's another vehicle recovery museum or something they call it. It's really cool. Philip and I rode our motorcycles down there one weekend and went to see that museum. It was a lot of fun. I actually thought it was great. I mean, I wasn't sure what to expect, and was really uh, kind of impressed. And they used to be like in downtown Chattanooga, because I used to pass them on the streets every night. I'd be down there for work, and then they moved out of town, just at the edge of town. Well, near Ruby, near Lookout Mountain, and those things, Rock City. In fact, the road you climb the mountain to go up there. They were right near that. But a really interesting museum. Been through there many times. A tow truck museum and would be worth it. David, if you're ever back, I recommend going to see it. I hope you're not disappointed now that I've built it up, but it's a lot. We really liked it. At that time, my son-in-law at that time he drove a tow truck recovery vehicle in the military, in the National Guard. That was his, or one of his specialties or whatever. He was qualified to drive one, and it was one of those great big giant things that they could recover all the really heavy military vehicles with. I don't know about a tank, but maybe. It was a big truck, and I think they have one in the museum. They've got a lot of old stuff. The old ones are what I was interested in. The first ones and the things they used to make tow vehicles back then. It was, if you're a gearhead like me, you find that kind of stuff interesting. Or if we have any English friends here, petrol heads as they call them. But over here, I just thought they just always called us gearheads. I got astray there. I'm sorry. The about the back to the reunion. The food was really good too, and that's you go to these kind of events and you're never quite sure what you're going to get to eat, especially if it's a um, buffet's not the right word. It wasn't a buffet per se, but it was a I don't know, Brendan. How would you describe it? Maybe it is buffet, but they had steaks and salmon and mashed potatoes. I can't. I'm not sure exactly. They were a little bit fancied up mashed potatoes, asparagus, grilled asparagus. That was the main part, and the steaks were were I can't. I want to say using expletive there. They were great. They were tender. They were little fillets about yay big or tenderloin. Maybe I would say, and they had some left over. So this is East Tennessee, and we're all hillbillies. So if there's anything left over, if you want it, take some home with you. So Brenda brought home several little steaks, and before I had one, she had already eaten half of them that she brought home over the course of a day and a half. But they were really good, and so the food was really good, and it was good to see people. It really was. It'd been a long time, too long. I'll have to say it. It was. I'd like to. I wish there was people I wish I had kept up with, and now people that I'll never see again. Steaks were for to die for, she said. Even after they got cool, because it got to bring some. We got to bring some home. They were still tender as could be. Yeah, they were really good and great flavor. They were cooked well. They had. I think they had. Brenda, correct me if I'm wrong. They had a medium rare section choice, and they had a medium well, I think, choice. And we got the medium rares, and they were nice and they were good. They were done. They were well. They were cooked to perfection. And like I said, some of the better ones I've ever had in that kind of an event. Desserts could have been a little bit more. They were kind of fancy, but I was really hoping somebody had brought a chest. Like somebody was serving chest pie. There used to be a caterer that Nashville that brought chest pie to events all the time. When I got to go, there was a particular group that worked out of the same hangars that I did, and they always had a Christmas and a Thanksgiving luncheon for their employees and ours. They always invited us, and whoever they got to cater their events always brought chest pie for dessert, and it was to die. It was to die for. I love chest pie. It's hard to find anymore. It's some people know what buttermilk pie is. It's very similar to that, but I think a little different. But anyway, we didn't have that. But so all in all, the reunion I think went off well. We stayed. It started at 3 in the afternoon, and we got there a few minutes after. We tried to be a little fashionably late, and I can't remember why we ran into traffic problems or something, and hung around till I don't know. It was the time on the time it was scheduled said 3 to 7, but after 7, they gave everybody. We were in a large building. One of our classmates owns this place called Tiebreakers, and it's one of those kind of down. There's another place here called Dave and Buster's or something like that, where you can go in and play all kinds of video games, arcades, and bowling, and several different things. So it was he owns a business that has that in it and a room to hold event venue, I guess you'd call it. And so they gave us all, like bowling tickets and arcade tickets. So we were welcome to hang around and do that. And so Brenda went bowling. We hadn't bowled in years. I should have tried it. I was afraid I couldn't my leg won't let me do the slide thing and roll a ball. But so she had fun doing that, and then we went over and played a bunch of arcade games, which was fun. Brendan, before the kids came along, Brendan and I used to go once a week or so and spend, each of us would get a roll of quarters, and or maybe not once a week, but a couple times a month, we'd get a roll of quarters each and drop them in the various pinball, not well, pinball or arcade. That's when things like Pac-Man had come out, and Star Wars, and uh, I don't know, just some other games that we used to play, skee ball, that kind of stuff. So we did all that. They had all that kind of stuff. They had a lot of race car, motorcycle things. I did that a little bit. Doesn't feel like a real motorcycle to me, so it's hard to get the knack to. But we did other things, and we had a good time. Well, at least I think we did, and everybody seemed to enjoy themselves. Like I said, there's a lot of pictures. Um, in fact, since we're just sitting here blabbing, I'm hoping Mark's going to be here. I've not heard from him. I mean, we talked a couple of days ago, and he said he'd be here. So since he's not here, I've not heard anything out of him. I don't get text from him anymore. His phone doesn't text anymore. His phone is slowly dying, but he refuses to go get one. I'm gonna send him one of these days. Um, let me try Messenger, see if he might have sent me something. No, I don't know. I don't have any emails from him. Let me double check that too. Nope. Well, I'm probably gonna do my show even if he don't show up. I've been holding it for 3 weeks to show it when we had time. So I'm not sure if he's gonna make it or not. Oh, let's see. What was I getting ready to say? Oh, let me see if I can pull up just real quick. Let me see if I can pull up one of our these photographs. Let's see if I can pull these up. This is a young lady that was doing our professional, our official photographer. Let's say her name is Whitney. I'm back. Did I disappear on you guys? Are we still here? Am I? Can you still? Hmm. Okay, am I here? Hi, Dave. Hi, John. That's old news. Oh, there's new Dave. Adventures by Dave. Hey, Dave. um, somebody talk to me. Can you see me? I keep going black with that circle of death, and that's very unusual. Best I can tell. Let me see what my speed is. No, I pegged out there. Nobody telling me if you can see me or not. So now I'm frozen again. So am I back or not? I'm thinking I'm not. Okay, my computer says I'm up. Hmm. Okay, guys, am I here? Well, I hear me.
Hi, babe.
Can you not see me or hear me?
Well, you're still frozen.
Well, we're trying to refresh. Tell everybody to refresh. Nobody's talking to me, but I see me. I can't tell if you guys can see me or not. Nobody's talking to me, but I see me. I can't tell if you guys can see me or not.
Can you hear yourself?
I did then. So am I still frozen?
Can you hear yourself?
I did then. So am I still frozen? Can you hear yourself? I did then. So am I still frozen? Carol said they can hear me.
Yeah. Can they see you?
I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know. I'm asking. Okay, Carol said she refreshed and I'm good on her end. It sounds like I'm good on your end. I'm gonna hang up.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang
All
up.
right.
Bye. Okay, maybe I'm back now. Brenda said I was frozen for a long time on her end, so I'm thinking maybe we had a problem on here in Tennessee. Maybe my internet says I'm up and running. I hope. I've got some stuff on in the background that I was working on regarding other things, but I don't think that's mostly just some documents I was reading. That shouldn't be a big deal. So let me try to give Mark a call while we're waiting, since we are waiting. Let me see if he's going to be able to make it or not. Maybe he's offline today, and he probably won't answer either. Hey, you down and out today? You okay? Okay, I didn't. I wasn't. Well, he's on his way. He's busy. He has a crawfish boil today, and he's pulling traps. He's got to go get his crawfish out of the river, but he's going to pop on for a little bit. So I don't know. He's. Yeah, I told him not to come in. I told him if he was busy, that's okay. So we'll see if he shows up in a minute. Now, what I need to know or want to know before he shows up is how many of you guys can see and hear me. If you don't mind, give me a head count. Um, because he may not be able to stay that long. If he can't, I may save the show again if nobody's, especially if nobody can see me. Because I know he's going to be. John's good, Dave's good. I think Brenda's good, even though she may not say anything. Carol, and you've got me okay now. Um, I don't know, Tina, Chuck, are you guys still here? Oh, we'll see when Mark gets here. It's already 11. He's got to be gone by. He won't have that. I think I may save my show again. So if I do, we may talk about some other things. I'm going to see if I can pull up while we're waiting on him. I'm going to see if I can pull up pictures here. Hang on. Tina's there. Okay, good. I don't know what's going on today. I don't usually have internet problems. That's what's odd. Um, no, that's wrong. Let's see here. Okay, I got some things. I may pull up. Hey, buddy.
Hey, hug glass.
Oh, I did. Whoops, I spelled that wrong.
What's a hug glass?
Well, I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure I know. Now, how about that?
Why am I not seeing the? There they are.
Well, now there's
Good
been.
morning, everybody. Sorry I was late.
Oh,
I've
that's
been
okay.
I've been like enjoying the morning with my family and getting ready to go pull crawfish traps.
Oh, well, you didn't have. You could have. Waved off and hang out with
Well,
some.
we can do this for a little while, and then I gotta go.
Okay. Well, we've been talking a little bit about our reunion and the things that went along with that. So, um, and I was going to tell you something else. So you got a big crawfish boil.
We got a big crawfish boil happening today.
So who you got? Folks?
Got the brother-in-law and the sister-in-law, and they're here at the house with their beautiful dog. And then we're going to go pull traps here in a little while and purge some crawfish for a bit, and then
How many traps do you have set?
and then boil them up and put them in a pot.
And eat them. Put them in your belly. Oh, my nose is itching. Hang on.
We got about 20 plus people coming.
Wow. So did you got folks staying at your house?
Yeah, the Charlotte and Jim are here with our Shauna's sister and our brother-in-law, and they're, like I said, their dog.
Where do they call home?
They live they live right just north of the headquarters for Wyoming Game and Fish in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Okay.
So they came over from Cheyenne yesterday. We had a great evening, and now we're getting ready to eat some mud bugs here in a bit. If the trap's produced.
Oh, I hope they do. What are you going to do if they didn't?
Well, I've got corn, potatoes, kielbasa.
So okay, well you still have plenty.
And mushrooms that will be boiled first, and then I'll boil the mud bugs. I'll spice it up a little bit and boil the mud bugs, and it'll be good.
Just
it's going to be good. We'll have some mud bugs.
I'm sure you haven't had. I haven't known you not to have any yet. So
we only trapped one time this summer. Normally we do 3 of these.
Yeah.
And so we only trapped once. And so Caitlin went down and caught some
bait
fish.
I'm sure she hated that.
A species of which we will not mention.
Okay.
But she went down in like about 30 minutes yesterday, caught 3 great old big bait fish species.
No world records, I don't guess.
No, she's still not bested my one I caught. But anyhow, it'll be good.
Did you get a chance to watch that other bear grease that I was telling you about, or figure out if you'd already
seen it?
Guys, this week I spent a little time, and I had time to to catch up on a couple more videos about the crawdad, the
squirrel.
Well, the squirrel championship, and I learned a lot about that event and how it got started. I wish I'd known more about it before I talked about it a little bit. But those guys are The guy that started that thing is hilarious. I mean, he kind of
He's a nut. He's a nut.
he's a nut. Apparently, he's a well-known wild game cook, and because he gets calls. I mean, that's how he got that moose in Alaska. They just called him up and wanted up. He wanted to try spit roast a moose. So I guess he said, "Well, yeah." But anyway, the so I found out quite a bit about. I'm going to that thing. I'm telling you, I'm making next year. I think I'm going to try to make it out there. I really want to go.
I'd like to go down there with you and like volunteer.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. Maybe we can work that out between now and then.
And then we can talk about squirrels.
And we can talk about squirrel cooking. Yes, indeed. Yeah, they were doing something else, Mark, on that. They talked about one of the things they're doing this year is they're giving away. They're doing 40 slots, which now they're grown is they have to cut it off there. And something they said, and I never thought about this. One of the reasons they're limiting it to 40 is they said, well, the judges just can't eat any more than that. They said they're guys. He said, you talk about hitting the wall. He said, I got a couple of heavyweight hitters that can eat. And he said they hit the wall somewhere around 35 or something. So they limited it to that. But anyway, one of the things they're doing with all that is a lot of work with kids, which is great. From everything from working with the sheriff's department to fingerprint and that, young people or children. But he's giving away, they're going to do, I think he said they're going to try to give 3 cooking slots to a professional, some adult that can cook, and 2
fingerprints. You got hold on, you can't walk on your lap, dude.
What that thing?
From like fingerprinting young children.
Well, that's a good thing,
just like fingerprinting used to be a bad deal.
Well, they're not in trouble or anything. It's not that kind of fingerprinting. They're just doing it to help in case they get lost or disappear or anything. But he's giving away anyway. He's going to give away these 3 slots with a cook and an adult. He didn't actually say cook, but I'm guessing that the person knows how to cook, and 2 foster children that they're going to participate. And cool. He's hoping that catches on. But they do a lot of stuff like that for kids in Arkansas, and I thought that was really great. I'm glad they're doing that. And but those guys are a hoot, man. He started that thing because somebody asked him if they could cook squirrel one day, and he said, "Well, heck yeah, we got world championship squirrel cooking." And the guy that did it was a filmmaker, and he said, "Well, when is it? We'll come down here." And he said, "Well, when can you come back again?" And they gave him a date, just pulled a date out of their top of their hat, and he said, "Oh, it just so happens that that's the weekend of the Squirrel Festival." So, and there wasn't, it was he just sort of.
Did I lose you? You're frozen.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Did he disappear? There he is.
I did, apparently.
Now he's Hugh. Now he's Hugh Glass.
I'm having a problem today. I may send you on your way here before it's over with, because I don't know. I've never had this problem before. I apologize, guys.
You're doing fine now.
Yeah, I was gone. And Brenda says I'm
Are
playing
we
the freeze
playing the
game.
freeze game?
I remember playing that when we were kids. Freeze. The first one that moved had to be it. So anyway, hopefully I'm back and everybody can see us again. Guys, I don't know what's going on. I've never had this problem. And my computer connection says I'm still good.
Well, you're doing fine now.
So I'm thinking it's a software issue of some sort here. Let me see if I can. Mark, I was going to do something else real quick.
I need a big old cup of coffee.
Well, go fetch you one while I do this.
You do what you're going to do. I'll be right back.
And those were organic, right?
Their feet they're like smooshy, they're like sandals.
I think I'm unfrozen. I think I'm back again. Everybody refresh. I just did.
We're on.
Where it came from?
Hey, can you see me?
I see you. I see you. Your lovely visage.
Don't lie. Don't lie.
That ain't a word you're used to hearing a hillbilly say.
That's a good word to write down right there. Now, can you hear that when I play it?
No, I don't hear anything, but I see the pioneers.
Okay, I'm gonna cut the sound off on my end. This is what the little video they put up for the. I haven't seen this, so I don't know if I'm in it or. Oh, there's Willie Hart right there that I was talking about a minute ago.
Look at all you,
All us grandpas.
all you beautiful people from David Crockett High School.
That was a guy. I knew that. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I had to look at name tags a fair bit, and had to ask questions. That was the guy that owns.
Well, we all don't look like we used to, buddy.
We sure as heck don't.
There, the ones that do look like they used to really kind of make me aggravated.
Yeah, Brenda said something like that too. I think the way she put it was, "Damn her, she looks the same as she did when we were in high school."
I met up with a bunch of buddies that I had started working with 30 plus years ago, and some of them look just like they did. And I'm like, you're really hacking me off here, dude.
Oh, there we are. Wait a minute. I just saw us. Right there's Brenda. Can you, in the pink blouse, or pinkish, as Kelly used to say, that pinkish purple. But for a while, Kelly went through a stage I don't remember what ages, where everything was pinkish purple. Now it might have been pinkish purple brown or pinkish purple green, but it was pinkish purple. And I wasn't sitting there, so I don't know. Somehow I've avoided the camera here. I was incognito all night.
And the ones that still have dark hair,
they're dyeing it.
They're using Grecian formula.
That's what That's what Brenda said. She said she's dyeing her hair. There we are, right there on the end. Right there's your lovable host. And I found out that I wasn't the only guy that's crippled up. There's other people that limp around and, you know. But there we are, the class of 75. Most of us, anyway. Some of us. The guy in the maroon shirt here on the end is one of the few guys, like I said, that I ran around with when I was a kid that was still around. Yeah, I used to ride dirt bikes with him. He was one of the guys that I was with when we first started riding motorcycles. He's told me, he said, I've not been without one since we were 14. And I said, well, I can almost say that. I had a couple of gaps in there. I said, but I've had one just about that long. Much. Anyway, that's the crowd. So I don't know how many people that is. Probably not as many people as I think, but I'm figuring we had about half the ones of us that are still alive were there. So I thought that was good. Now, the most ambitious thing I heard all night was that they wanted to try to do it again in about 5. Well, they said, how about we try this again in 10 years? And somebody said, that might be
There won't be any of them.
So they said 5, so I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it's amazing. How about we do this in 10 years? And then people are like, I don't
I don't know if we'll be around.
So I don't, that ain't gonna happen. But anyway, it was good. I'm glad
it's a good goal.
It's a good goal.
I would do 1 in 5 and then worry about 10.
Well, yeah, that's what I think. That's maybe what happens. If they do another, I tell you, if they do another one in 5 years, I'll be there. I'm going. We hauled around, and Brenda and I both were like, "Why are we nervous about this? We shouldn't be nervous about this." But we were, but when we got there, it was all good. It was all good.
That's beautiful.
The lady that was sitting there that was in a bunch of pictures, and she was right in the middle of that group photo that had the darkest hair.
Yeah.
Brenda said she's probably dyeing her hair. But anyway, she's the one that looked, she could almost walk back into the annual. She'd aged some, but as we all have, but she didn't look much different than she did 50 years ago.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Some people have those genes.
Yeah, some people do. It was very casual, and I had Brenda said, "Are you sure we don't have to dress up for this, do we?" And I said, "Well, nobody mentioned dressing up to me, and you know how I am about dressing up." And she said, "Well."
When we got married, the guy that lived next door was going to cook the food. And he wanted to do, but it was supposed to be part of it.
You've froze up on us again, buddy.
And luckily, I just didn't trust him, and I spent 3 nights making 3 different bowls.
Come in.
Or milk and dinner, which is
Now,
There you are. There you are.
Okay, I'm not going to do my other show. We'll save it again for next week. And the reason is I spent a lot of time on it, and I don't know if I can get through it because of the way this thing's acting. And so I'll just do that next week again, and we'll just BS there for a little bit longer. Mark catch crawdads.
So I can go catch crawfish.
Tell me something, brother. I was looking. This will be a question that had to do with today's show that I'm not going to do, but there is how far are you from Landers, Wyoming? If you can hear me.
2 hours.
2 hours, and it does.
That's over on the Popol Aggie.
I know. And does the Hams
Or
Fork
the Paposia, as you would say it correctly.
Yeah, that's how they spell. I've got that. I found the actual. That movie. We always laugh about that. There was actually, supposedly at least, a sign made that said that on it, that very thing. And it had been tacked to the wall of a trading post cabin where they were going to do the rendezvous. But instead, they had moved it because of competition. These fur companies fought like crazy to get the furs, and that sign come to Popo Aggie. That you got, and the sign said we got trade goods, whiskey, and women. It actually said white women. It actually said that.
Well, they're not going to bring white women clear on this side of the divide.
Right. So my question to you was: you live on which fork of the Hams? You live on.
I live on the Hams Fork.
The main river?
Yeah, it runs right through my property.
Okay, so does it?
I'm catching crawfish out of it today.
Well, I know, but does it run all the way to Landers?
No.
Okay.
It goes to the Blacks Fork at Granger, and then the Blacks Fork flows into the Green River.
Okay.
So the Landers on the other side of the divide.
Well, that's what I thought.
And all the drainages, the Popo Aggie or Poposia, flow into the Wind River and then into the Yellowstone.
Okay.
So there was two totally different drainages. So, I mean, my drainage goes to the Colorado River. Their drainage goes to the Missouri.
Well, the Missouri and then the Mississippi, yeah. So, but they're one of the things I researched said that there was, and I don't remember which year it was, there was a rendezvous on the Hams Fork.
Yeah, right at Granger.
Okay, that's where it was at. All right, good.
Yeah, so if you read Osborne Russell's book, you'll find out all about the cool critters we had, the hundreds of thousands of pronghorn he talks about. And
who's that? I may already have that book, but who is that again?
Osborne Russell. Journal of a Trapper. The best book on the subject ever.
All right, that'll be going in the library if I don't already have it.
And he would talk about, he kept real detailed notes on his wanderings. And he'd say stuff like, we rode 40 miles today. And then like tomorrow we rode 12. And, the next day they rode 22 or whatever. And it's like, man, those guys were tough.
And you know what's amazing is those that could write like him. Actually, now not all of them, but quite a few of them kept good notes and journals. Most people today we travel. Most people don't do that. I mean, there are a lot of people that do try to keep journals, and I used to try to write down everyday stuff like that. I don't always do it, but some of those guys took exceptional notes, and if it hadn't been for that, we wouldn't. There's so much of history we wouldn't have a clue about.
Well, and he talks about they loved eating bighorn sheep, and there were sheep everywhere at that time.
Wow.
And they didn't eat pronghorn, they didn't eat bison that much. They ate bighorn sheep. They spent a whole winter over here west of me just eating sheep.
Today, I think of sheep, bighorn sheep, and I think high altitude tops of the mountains. But no.
Yeah, they weren't. You didn't have to go that high to get them.
That's interesting.
Until we brought domestic sheep into the.
And they had to get away.
And then we got a bunch of diseases out of the deal. So, anyway.
Sorry, guys. I'm stopping up again. Yeah, that's cool. I'll have to get that. If I don't have that, I'll have to get that. I was watching an Antiques Roadshow from St. Louis. Wait a minute. I don't know if it was St. Louis or not. It was somewhere in the east, so east of St. Louis.
I've never been.
Anyway, this lady came in, and the thing that she brought to the road show was journals that her uncle or father or grandfather, I can't remember now who it was, had kept of World War II that I'd never seen. Well, I mean, that I'd never seen, it's no big deal. But it was kind of like unfound. So I'm thinking, wow, people like, no, not World War II. Back up, great great grandfather. It was the Civil War. He joined, and in Michigan, it was a Michigan cavalry unit, and he joined up in like early '62 and was in it till the end, and was in places like Gettysburg, and he was at Appomattox Courthouse when they surrendered, and he kept detailed journals of the whole thing. And I'm thinking, somebody like Ken Burns would like to have had that because they used a lot of journals. But here's like an untapped source that that's never been out because it's just been in her family, and they found them and nobody else. Somehow she inherited them, and really nice thick journals. All he'd had them leather bound, and each year was marked 62, 63, 64, 65. And I thought, man, a historian would like to get their hands on. I mean, there's a brand new view of what was going on, maybe that nobody's ever read outside of their family. And it's kind of like those letters that my cousin has that were part of my family. And that, but were just in there. They kept at home in a Bible or a box or wherever they kept stuff like that had been passed down to her that nobody else had ever looked at, ever read, and they were talking about, dear sister, I'm camped. Here we are today, camped on the bank of something called Chickamauga Creek. And I'm thinking, holy crap. Here's an honest to God, person to person letter of the eve of Chickamauga. I mean, who know, or the night after? I don't know. I can't remember now if it was before or after, but
with the cannonballs flying into trees and
that kind of stuff, man. And he was a cavalry. They were a cavalry unit that he was.
that's the place that I went. That the one Civil War battle. I've never been to Gettysburg, unfortunately, but I've been to Chickamauga and Stones River and places like that. But it just amazed me, like there's still these big old oak trees with cannonballs sticking out of them still.
Can you imagine? I mean, they cut down. There were battles where they cut down every tree in sight, literally.
Yeah.
Brenda, here it is, guys. Brenda made several loaves of banana bread yesterday. She gave me a piece to eat, and I haven't stopped long enough to eat it yet.
You better eat that.
Yum yum. Get me some of that here in a minute. But I will. Have no fear. It's yummy, and I think banana bread's one of those things that you bake it and it's good, but a day or so later it's even better. It seems to get better
It's like a good old pot of beans.
Yeah, they get better. Yeah, exactly.
They get better with age.
Chili,
or a fine bottle of bourbon. It just gets better with age.
Speaking of that, I was wondering, but does anything like that get consumed when the family's around? Was there that kind of enjoyment?
We imbibed way too much last night.
That's what I wondered. Okay, good to know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
My brother-in-law, bless his heart, he likes a brown liquor.
Bless his heart.
And he brings good ones.
Oh, excellent. Nothing better than family that not only likes to imbibe, but brings it with them. That's my kind of family.
We got pretty deep into the cups last night. So oh my. But we had a good time.
That's what matters.
Yeah, it's just good.
I
We
can't eat
we
that
got
at all.
good dogs and good family, and it's
And
everything.
what kind of pup
Everything
did they bring?
everything's grand. Huh?
Good. What kind of dog did they bring with them?
Well, I don't. I think she's a labradoodle,
Ah, I do
but
know one of them.
she's the best one of those doodles that I've ever met. So
Oh, cool.
she's just such a calm dog. You know, most of them are pretty neurotic, and
Yeah,
she's not that way at all. She's a good
cool.
dog. Anyway,
So the latest report on the great chicken and fox massacre battle that have been going on in East Knoxville.
do we have more dead red foxes on the ground? You froze up again on me again, buddy. Am I supposed to entertain you? Because he's gone. And hopefully you can hear Wolfgang howling outside. Bye, 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 bye. Now I'm supposed to do the talking now. Well, good luck with that. And Brenda can hear Wolfgang. Good.
I'm back, maybe.
Teeny Ursus horribilis, teeny tiny ancestors out there. Bye, 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 bye.
Can you see me again?
I can and see you and hear you.
Carol says it's time to practice those K-Tel songs for her upcoming album. Brenda said she could hear Wolfgang.
But you are freezing up regularly, bud.
I know. I don't know what's going on. It's obviously on my end. I must have. I probably have got. I've figured out where critical mass is on how much stuff I can have on in the background. And apparently, I have found that I'm too far into it.
My speaking of
Oh,
K-Tel, my aunt used to babysit a little boy, and he would sing ceilings, nothing more.
Ceilings.
Ceilings. He'd just be walking around the house singing that, and it's like, no, I don't think that's the song, bud.
Yeah, it is. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he was convinced it was. So,
He
guys,
was,
I
he
apologize.
was
I don't
3
know
or
what's
4 years
going on.
old, and he was singing ceilings.
I think I'm back. I don't know how far behind it is. I don't know how if it's close to me. Let me do a test. 1, 2, 3, go. I'm counting. Hang on. Wow. I tell you what else is weird. The lag from here to where it's coming out on the other end, at which everybody's watching, is way, way off. It's not even close to being the same. In fact, I may be froze up on that end again already.
3 years that we were together.
I cussed a lot when I was offline that time, so I hope that part didn't come through.
I didn't hear any cussing.
Yeah, well, that's probably good because I let fly.
Not that I haven't heard you cuss in the past.
Surely you did. Surely.
Nor me neither.
Yeah, I've never heard you say anything foul of mouth or.
Oh my goodness.
Ceilings.
Nothing more than ceilings. and
No,
then and then
me,
that
me,
kicks me over to like the Muppets. And
the Muppets.
what was the
What was the which?
what was the dude he never said anything. He just talked and whistles and he
Not
was
Archie.
always he was always hanging out with the doctor. And
Oh! I know who you're talking about. Beaker and
Baker's the guy
Baker.
I'm thinking of. Baker, he did that song on it. It was me, me.
Carol said Disney presents Frozen 4 on Saturday Morning Shine. Some language may be inappropriate for our younger viewers. No, Carol. No.
And I agree, Carol. Baker, he was the Muppets were the greatest.
Yeah, they were.
I
Yeah,
miss
they
him.
were.
I miss him. No, we had like a compilation deal that I wish I could find now because it was on VHS tape or something. We copied it off the TV and recorded it, and I have no idea where it is or could I play it.
Was it just a whole bunch of different Muppet
It
shows?
was like a 2-hour special that just had all these cool Muppet moments.
Oh, really? That would be good.
And anyway, I remember Baker singing that song though. Me.
Carol said she likes the Muppets version of Bohemian Rhapsody. I think I
That was
remember
great.
that one.
That was a great one too.
So if you could, Carol, here's the thing. Here'd be a great show. Get the Muppets version of the Bohemian Rhapsody and Bugs Bunny's version of Ride of the Valkyries or whatever the opera was he did. That would be a great television show.
You could just play that and be happy every time.
Magic helmet, sword and magic helmet.
Magic helmet.
Lightning, thunder. Barbara Seville. No, that he did that too, but
that was a good one too.
The other one is with Viking, with the Norse gods and all that stuff. Then he gets killed in the end, and everybody, and they're like, he said, well, everybody's crying and stuff. And he said, what do you think this was? It's an opera. It's got to die. Somebody's got to die at the end.
Oh, Brunhilde, you're so lovely. Yes, I know it. I can't help it. Oh, Brunhilde, why don't you return my love? We watched too much TV growing up.
I'm going to have to find that and watch it today. I won't play it on here because I don't want to get.
Yeah, wouldn't want to get in trouble.
Carol said she had to go change her. I don't know if she's trying to say she's wet her pants or that laundry or washing machine. But she said, okay, she's got to go change the laundry. See, sometimes I could see how that could happen if we got to laughing hard.
Oh, my goodness.
My heavens. I hate this today. I hate that this has been so goofy today.
Well, we will do this again next weekend.
Yeah, and we'll
I gotta go.
All right, you got to head out and catch crawdads. Well,
yes,
good luck.
Sir. So I will see you all next weekend.
What time should Brenda and I show up for dinner?
Be here at 4.
Be here at 4. Okay, we'll have to hurry.
4 o'clock Mountain Time.
Mountain. Well, that gives me a couple extra hours. Good. Okay. I think we can do that. I'll
All
load the
right.
jet. I'm gonna load the jet up right now and fire it up and head that way.
See you later.
Love you, brother. Talk to you
Love you,
today.
brother. Later.
Oh, guys, I'm sorry about this today. This has been terrible. I've never had this much trouble that I can remember staying online. You know, he's gonna have a house full here just in a little bit. So, um, I'm sure all the grandbabies will be there. Probably most of the grand dogs. Uh, and they've got that's Shauna's sister, I think, and husband. So they're from out of town, and I don't know who all else is in. Okay, guys, I'm really about to get PO'd here. All right, guys, here's the deal. I apologize. The difference between you guys and me is terrible. The split. Let me see how far I am now. So I'm still talking about Mark over there. I saw where Barnes and Noble has some of the Pat McManus book for $1.99. Oh, that's on their ebooks. Oh, I might have to look into that. I think I've got their reader on my. I had it on my tablet. I do prefer them in books, but I'm telling you something. If you've never read Pat McManus, read them, whether they're on paper or they're on digital, and prepare to be entertained. And you're not going to see this probably, but it's called Another Lousy Day in Paradise, but it's all about fly fishing stories. And this guy's supposed to be somewhat Pat McManus like. But one I'm really looking forward to starting is a book I had misplaced. Again, these things got lost in the move. And I realized I'd gotten it out of the box, and it's this one. Oh, America by William Least Teat Moon. And I can't wait to start this. He starts out in 1848, an English physician, Nathaniel Trennett, accepts an offer to serve as a doctor on a ship carrying immigrants to America. When arriving in Baltimore, Trennett, I've never seen it spelled quite like that, stumbles onto its slave market and witnesses the horrors of human bondage. I didn't know that. One night in a boarding house, he discovers under his bed a runaway slave. So I want to start reading this. I know this has got a lot to do with American, the Mississippi River area and that time frame, 1848. In fact, it's all in 1848. So I want to start that book. William, and if you've never read William Least Teat Moon, highly recommend him. I mean, I need to make a list of my favorite authors and let you and post it on my page, and you guys could ever want to read anything if you're ever curious about that. And I'm always, if you want to ever post the name of a book. Good morning, Francisco. If you ever want to recommend an author or a book, by all means, send it to me. Facebook, Instagram, here, whatever, and we'll check into it. But William Lee Teat Moon, excellent writer. First book I ever read of his, what turned me on to him, and Phil probably got me, was Dick Estelle, guy from Michigan State or University or Michigan. He used to read books on the radio, public radio, and they used to do a thing. I can't remember what he called it, book hour or something. Anyway, he read Blue Highways by William Lee Teat Moon. It's a good introductory book. William Lee Teat Moon drove around the country in an old Ford Econoline van, and he I'm going to say I'm 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through the last book now. I think I'm back. If you missed it, Carol, I was mentioning who is the is that Shelby Foote's Civil War series or somebody else's? And there's a lot of good ones. There's a couple good ones. And if it is, that's the one I'm reading and I'm about or listening to. And I'm probably half to 3/4 of the way through the final book of that series. It's been excellent. Good listening. And there's a lot of information there that you probably didn't hear in your history book. Shelby Foote, excellent. Oh, well, good. Thank you. I'm saying thank you because I hope you enjoy it. Since I recommended it, I hope you enjoy it. Shelby Foote was an interesting gentleman and writer. So now I'm back over here. Okay, guys, I tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to hang around. I'm going to hang around till noon, but if you guys don't want to stick around, I understand. I'm going to try to stick it out by at least 2 hours, and then I'm going to call it a day. But the in and out thing is driving me crazy. Okay, I'm going to mute that again. Maybe we should start a book club too. Maybe we should do a Saturday morning book club. But like I said, if you have a book, and I don't know if this was on there or not, if you have a book you'd like to recommend, or if you read something, or if there's a part of history that you're interested in, let me know. Who knows? Maybe we can talk about it online. Maybe we can do a show about it. If anybody, again, this offer's always out there. If anybody ever wants to do something like that and then come on the show and talk about it, or if you'd like to talk about your own family history in some period of time in America that you happen to know about, I'd be glad to do that too. I'm going to post a question to you all. And Christopher, oh God. Oh, I can't wait to see the answers to this one. Brenda, I almost mentioned that, and I decided I'd let you decide if you wanted to or not. Carol, you're a school teacher. You might not want to know the answer to this or the story behind it. Good banana bread, babe. In case you don't know, and I'll explain. The Hugh Glass bear. There's a story there that has to do with the fur trade period in America. And if you ever saw the movie, the Leo DiCaprio movie, Revenant, I think that's the name of it, Revenant, and that's more or less what the story is based on. Is a gentleman by the name of Hugh Glass. The answer is built into the word native, isn't it? Carol, you would think that might be the case, but you may be wrong. Brenda doesn't think anybody in this room is going to know this answer. And I bet you're right. In this room, I bet nobody in this room is going to know this answer. At least not the way it was explained to you. John, what do you have going good this weekend? You going golfing, fishing? Anything else? Um, we were talking about the Squirrel Championship cook-off. I think it starts this week, or I can't remember. It seems like it's the 13th. So maybe it's next Saturday. It's next weekend, I think. But I don't know what day it starts. If I could get Mark to show up, I'd go out. Brenda and I'd just drive out there. Next year I'm going. Well, John, I hope your back gets to feeling better, buddy. I don't envy anyone that has any kind of back issues. There's some people in this world that I really don't like, but I don't know if I still say that I don't think there's anybody that I'd wish that on. I've been suffering with my back problem since 1992 now. And then the newer problem that occurred in 2020 or 2019 with the actual spinal cord thing. And none of it's been good. I can't tell you that not 1 minute of it have I enjoyed. Right now, my left leg's giving me a heck of a time. And that's all related to that spinal cord injury. So, it's been 5, going on 6 years, maybe more than 6. It was July 19, so I guess it's been 6 years. According to my well-schooled nephew, Christopher Columbus arrived before the Native Americans were here. I just stared at him and said, "Bless your heart." And for some reason, and we think, Carol, because of that reaction to that response, we're no longer welcome in the homes of her relatives. Now, maybe I shouldn't have told that part, but it's the truth. That boy went to the same school system we did. Brenda and I both went through, and somehow we didn't. I think both of us know the correct answer to that question. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. There's a disconnect. That's probably a topic for another story, and maybe even another channel. Maybe not Saturday Morning Shine. That probably goes back to the nighttime show again. Maybe someday I'll get that going and we'll talk about it. Carol, I didn't witness that conversation. She didn't want. I wasn't invited, to be honest. I think she probably. And Brenda wasn't trying for it to go where it went, but it did. And then she got back in the car and she said the same thing to me, and I went. And she said, "That's what he said." And I think because of that, it hurt his feelings. But pretty sure Brenda didn't call him an idiot or anything. I probably should shut up before I make things worse than they already are. It is a sad, sad thing. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I shouldn't have opened that, babe. I should have waited until the show was over. I can't stop eating on it. John, you're gonna have to tell me how what you do to your ribs sometime. Not the ones you're cooking, not the ones that might be hurting with your back. I said that wrong. Do you use a dry rub? Do you use a wet sauce when you cook your ribs? Um, my wife figured out a way to make ribs and, and like baby backs, and she's been doing this for several years now and cooking them in the oven in aluminum foil, seasoning them up, rubbing them like with the kind of a dry rub sort of thing. And she did this a couple times and hit on some spice combinations that or seasoning combinations. She doesn't like heat much, so that are just wow, so good. And every time she makes them, we both just about lick our foreheads trying to get it all in. And I like dry rub ribs. I never had a dry rub rib until I ate at a restaurant here that's in Chattanooga called Sticky Fingers. And if Kay's still with us, I think they have some facilities in South Carolina. In fact, they may have started in South Carolina. And they have dry rub ribs on their menu, as well as more traditional, what I'll call wet sauce or wet applied or wet rub, not a rub, mopped on. Um, and I just fell in love with the whole idea. I love a good dry rub rib. But so Brenda, write that down. We can find a deal on some baby backs. We need to get some. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Coffee and banana bread. Yum, yum. We do. Have you ever, Kate? Have you ever been to Sticky Fingers down there? I really like. We don't get to go much. I can't understand why, but there's not one in Knoxville. I don't know why. Like I said, there's two in Chattanooga, kind of one downtown and one on the edge of town, and they're both just great. But they're like I said, their dry rub ribs are to me are just to die for. They are just the best. And Brenda's come right in there close. I mean, before I talk my way right out of a dinner, let me say that Brenda's might be the best of all. And they do sell their spice mixes. You can buy all of their spices. And okay, who lives north of? Let's see, Carol. You might be able to help me here. I don't know if there's anybody else left that's from Michigan or that area. Do you guys have a potato chip brand in your area called Grippos? And it's spelled Grippos, I believe. Grippos. They come out of Ohio. I think they're actually the home base for the company is Cincinnati, but you can't buy them down here hardly anywhere. The only place I know of that you can buy them in the state of Tennessee is a little grocery store that's around Norris Reservoir where I used to work, and I used to go there and get them. And I actually talked to the distributor one day. He was there delivering, and he said that was the southernmost part of their route was that store I was standing in. Not sure how that happened, but they are just so good. They have a sweet hot potato chip barbecue mix. It's better than any. Most regular barbecue potato chips don't do much for me, but Grippos do, and man, are they good! And they sell their they sell the same mix that they put on their chips. You can buy it and you can apply it to ribs and stuff too. We have to do a show on rib spices one day. That'd be good. Not that I know of. We're the home of Better Made. Oh, up there, Better Made. I've never had Better Made. Is that the brand on the bag or the main company, Carol? We used to have, well, we do. I think we still do have a brand around here called Moores, Moores, but I've never been a big fan. My dad liked them. Public here has them, I think, or is it Ingles? You have Grippos, Kay? That's amazing. That's really cool if they do. If you've never tried them, by all means, give them a try. Well, if you like spicy, I mean they're a little warm. I mean they actually have a little bit of spice on them. They're barbecue chip with a little bit of bite, but they're not. I don't think they're bad in that regard. There's a company here that also makes a hot potato chip that can get kind of hot. It's the Chip brand. They've been around forever, huh? They're only so in my opinion. And that's funny, isn't it, Carol? It's like I said, my dad liked Moore's chips, and partly because they were cheaper, I think. But he bought them a lot. I never was a big fan of their chips. I don't know, the flavor, the seasoning, I don't know, on barbecue, and even their plain chips, I didn't like that much. But they're local around here. I don't know how widespread they are. Well, that's cool, Carol. Okay, that they make good stuff, I think. In fact, I used to buy them and take them into work because everybody down there liked them, but nobody had a place to buy them. I used to buy 2 or 3 bags and bring them home once in a while when I was up there, just so I'd have some to eat at the house. They're really good. Well, we used to have something else that was made around here. I'm trying to think what they were. If you remember the bread brand called Wonder Bread, they used to make chips around here at least, and I really liked their potato chips, but they disappeared. I haven't seen those in a long, long time. In fact, I don't even know if you can buy Wonder Bread around here anymore. I have to admit, when it comes just to basic chips, I like Lay's, and I prefer just Lay's normal original potato chip more than their barbecue. But they've got some good flavors. I think they have a sweet hot now that I like. Oh, that was what I was going to say. The company that makes the local company here that makes the hot chips also makes a sweet hot that I really like, and they're similar to Grippos. Grippos is that a sweet hot combination. I like that combination in flavors. And we used to have Charles chips, or Charlie's chips as we called them. I don't know where they came from, but the distributor was here in Knoxville, and they used to come out and deliver in trucks. And we lived in Johnson City, so 100 miles away from Knoxville, but they delivered out that far, and the truck would come to our house, and you could place an order, and the next week the truck would bring you those chips, and they came in a tin can, said Charlie's Chips on it. So I think somebody else in here says they've had those. Hey, Don, welcome in. How's Texas today? Anyway, Charlie's Chips, and they would come and deliver them to the house. Now, they had a really good potato chip. They were the first potato chip I ever remember that was made in peanut oil, which I liked, which is maybe why they don't have them around much. Chuck's mom used to work for, oh, really? Tina, that's cool. Company closed down. I don't think you can get Wonder. I don't think you can either. I remember something about Wonder Bread that they used to advertise as being the most nutritious and all these good things they put in their bread that were good for kids and that kind of stuff. I can remember them being advertised on Captain Kangaroo and all kinds of things like that. I heard that they got into an issue about somebody called them out on what the good things they put in their bread, and they couldn't back it up, so that they lost, that they went downhill after that. So I don't know if that's true or not. Kay says Charles chips are awesome. I like the darker chips, and they had lots of dark. You know what they did, Kay, and I believe at some point they even had where you could buy all dark chips or brown, more that were cooked more, brown ones, burnt ones, whatever you want to call them. The Lone Star State is as big and bright as the stars at night. Well, now you're just bragging. Wonder Bread helps build strong bodies 12 ways. That's right, Carol. That was their slogan. But I think they got in a little bit of trouble for that statement. I don't know if that's true, but I know after I heard that, though, it seemed like they did take a big nosedive. Well, Don, I don't know how long you can hang around. We're going to wind up here pretty quick. I've had an awful time staying online today. I don't know if I think it's StreamYard, though. I don't think it's YouTube. So I don't know if you've been on anybody else's show, if anybody else is having problems, but I've had an awful time. In fact, this may be the longest period of minutes I've been on since I started. You can at Food City. We can what? We can buy Wonder Bread at Food City? For a while, Wonder Bread was affiliated with Hostess. I think Hostess may have dropped Wonder after the trouble. Maybe. She is bragging. Yes, I am. Oh, me. I'm not too keen on Texas. You know, one of our state brothers went down there and got killed. So, there. I'm kidding. Kind of funny because Hostess is definitely not a health food. No, they are not. I would have to say that they would not rank real high on the health food side of things. Carol, that's probably politely stated there. They used to have a company. It used to be a company called Rainbow Chips, and they were all dark. We never had them around there. I don't know if I've ever seen those either, Kay. And we used to have a Rainbow Bakery in this area of the country. Dawn may remember that. Remember that, Alamo. But we had Rainbow up here. I know, because we used to get Rainbow Bread sometimes. I was on DIS our dream earlier, no problem. Okay, I'm sure it's me. I don't know if it's something going on with my computer or the software, or maybe I've got too much going on here in the background today. Rainbow Chips are better made brand. Oh, really? Okay. So that's the kind you were talking about, Carol, that you guys have up there. I do like those. I used to work with a guy that really liked. If we had chips on the table or something, he would pick through and always get out the darkest ones and eat them. Tina says, I disagree, Carol. There's mental health too, and they're definitely good for mental health. That's a good. I might have to agree with that too, Tina. I have to rethink about my stance on that health food thing. That's true. There's a lot of good mental health comes out of a box of Debbie cakes. I promise you. That's why Mark and I joke about it, but the little Debbie cream, the oatmeal cream pies, we always call them survival cakes. More than one reason. Hi, Dave's Disney Dreams. Welcome in. You made it while we were still on the air, and by that I mean I've been on and off all day. It's been cutting me in and out. I am about ready to wind up, but now I've got all these friends are coming in, so I'm gonna hang around a little bit longer. My co-host and culprit, or what would I partner in crime, I guess. He had to leave. He's got family in today. They're doing one of his annual crawfish bowls, and he had to head down to the river to pull the crawfish out of the river. He hadn't got them out of the water yet, so popping in to hit like and say hi, working on getting the house. Well, good luck with that, Dave. I hope that works out. So, and you are officially moved back to Michigan now, correct? Carol says, you are a third Dave of the day. Tim will tell you what you won. Okay, Carol. Now I'm going to have to not. Who said that? Yeah, Carol said that. Yay, you're getting a house, Dave. Oh, but we're not for me though. We're not giving away a house. Just clear that up. My dad loved Little Debbie oatmeal cakes. Since he passed, my brother nor I can eat them. Oh, I'm sorry, Kay, but I do like them a lot. I've probably eaten more than my fair share in my life, and I really liked it when they came out with the extra big ones because they have more cream cheese. They have more cream icing in the middle, I think. Yes, I'm a sugar king. I can't help it. Eventually moved back to. Oh, you're not. Oh no, stick in Florida for now. Oh, okay, okay. I thought you were already moving back, Dave. I apologize. So you get back into a house, mate. You get your internet. Maybe your internet's been working better. I've not popped in a few days or a couple of weeks, but I know Dave was having problems getting internet connections so he could stream. Well, Dave, you could do what a lot of other people do. We call them halfbacks here. People from Michigan move to Florida and decide they got to move out of Florida, and they come back and stop in Tennessee, halfway back to Michigan. There's a lot of you'd find that there's a lot of Michiganders in this area, part of the country. Hoping, but haven't found a job. In Michigan or Florida? Yeah, it'll come along. If you can stick it out, that's always the problem. Riding out the storm till you get there. I had 2 boxes left when he passed. I tried to eat one, couldn't. I gave them away. Well, I understand, Kay, and I just spilled coffee on myself. So there's a surprise. You guys hadn't seen that before, have you? About once a week. Once a show, I should say. More often than once a week, I promise you. Brenda used to get so mad at me. Most of my shirts had coffee stains on the front. And now I got it on my cup, and my hot plate's cracking and popping. I got to dry it off. Hang on. Okay. Dave's always win. There you go. Backs, I like that. That's what people around here used to say. And in fact, I think some of the Michiganders told me that's what they were once. That had moved back here. There's quite a few people from Michigan that I guess retired from the car companies and various other better jobs up there than down here. I mean, people get paid more per hour up there than here as a rule. Anyway, they'd moved to Florida and then decided that was too hot or they didn't like it and they'd start back, but they'd stop here. So there was a lot of people around the lakes here that were Michigan. Now I can't say it right. Michigan retirees that live up around the lake in Norris had lots of Michiganders. Tina says that's why my coffee is a sippy cup for adults. I've got one of those, Tina. I'm just not using it at the moment. Here's the thing. I like ceramic cups. I prefer to drink my coffee out of a mug of some sort. It doesn't have to be this one. It could be another one. But I like that. Now, I've got a travel mug that I use all the time, and I highly recommend them. This is not a paid commercial, but it looks like this. And this is the brand Mighty Mug. So if anybody from Mighty Mug is listening out there, I'd always take a new cup. Some free airtime here. This cup has this magic bottom on it. See this? It's a Tommy Tippy cup. There's the snap down cap. If you set this on any smooth surface, table, like on my desk here, if I set it just on the wood, this somehow sticks and it won't fall over. I mean, you can push it and it won't tip over. You have to really push it to make it. You pick it straight up and it pops right off. Then it's not a suction cup. I don't know how they do it. It's magic. One of my coworkers showed it to. He had one, and he had it in a meeting one day at the table, and we bumped it and it didn't fall down. I said, "Where'd you? Whoa! Tell me about that cup," because I was always two things were always pretty much standard with me. One, I always had coffee with me, and two, I was always spilling it, or at least a little bit. This fixed a lot of that. This will stick. This is a great mug, and it keeps coffee hot for hours, literally. And really good cup, really, and this really works. I can't. Like I said, I can't explain why. They probably wouldn't tell me, but they're really good cups. I highly recommend them. So if you're ever looking for a new travel mug or a Tommy Tippy cup for adults, um, by all means, check out the Mighty Mug. I don't know what other things they make. I just bought that, and if they made a thermos bottle, a thermos, I might try that. Tina, there's a street in my neighborhood that is really bumpy. I call it Coffee Spilling Avenue. That street taught me to use a travel mug. Yeah, that's why I keep one too. I understand we have a few streets like that here. We got lots of roads like that down this way, I'm afraid. Dave says if he had his way, he'd live in Tennessee or Virginia. Well, come on down up, Dave. Well, I get that, Teen. I think what you're saying is they need to make more up there because cost of living. I get that. But that is why they come here, because property's cheaper, no taxes, all that. So a lot of people retire here, and the lake was full of them. Ohioans, Michiganders, some New Yorkers down here. I'm trying to think the other popular. I mean, it's funny because in this area of Tennessee, most of the folks that retired here that were from out of state were from like three states, maybe four, maybe some Pennsylvania, but Ohio, Michigan, I think New York. Um, that's about it. I mean, those are the main ones. There's others, lots of others I know, but those were the main ones. And gee, I bet 50% of them at least are Michiganders. And I'm going to be honest with you that there were some local personality conflicts because of that. You take a person that's maybe never been out of one of the local counties, which I'll let it remain nameless. They're not always sure how to take somebody that moved down from Michigan or New York. And probably have a lot of preconceived notions about people from other places. It's one of those places where people aren't so sure about strangers. If you didn't grow up in one of these local counties, like my own, for example, you might tend to be wary of somebody that came from some place called New York or California or Michigan. It's like out west, Californians are. It's that way out there. With lots of Californians have moved east into the mountains or into Wyoming, Colorado. Which reminds me, Ian's not here today. And maybe parts of New Mexico, and I know I hear people complain about it all the time out there. That's just how it is. Anyway, well, guys, I'm not sure who's still here. I'm hanging around because I had some new people come in. I didn't want to just sign off. But I think I'm about ready to close up. Can you believe it? I'm not having problems now. Now that Mark's gone and I've lost some of my crowd, I'm not falling offline. Everything's just wonderful. One more thing. Well, I don't know, Carol, can you hang around a few minutes? If you can, I'm going to do this. Shh. Good point, Tina. No need to push it. Let me try one more time to get that website to open up. I lost it. Here it is. I'm gonna post this. That's the link. I don't know. It still doesn't seem to be wanting to open for me, but you're welcome to try it. And I don't. What is going on here? Oh well. I'm not gonna. It's not gonna work. I can't seem to get anything. Oh me. Well, I was gonna try to. I did find something else. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna post this real quick. This is Mark's daughter's roosters. That's the one she named Spock. Can't remember if the other one's. I don't know if the other one's named Captain Kirk or not. I don't think so. And he's crowing. Anyway, let me see if what's her name? Um, oh shoot. Um, Garrett. What's her name, Brenda? What's the classmate? Her name's Garrett now, um, or Jarrett. What's her first name? Yeah, try that, Carol. Tell me if it opens. I can't figure out why it's not working, but I can't figure out why anything's working right now. I'm sure I've got it spelled right. Yeah, that's supposed to be it. Not Sharon. That's somebody else I used to work with. Darn it. Free stuff. I like some free stuff. Well, I'm seeing all kinds of things that I have to go back and look at later. Ooh. Poisonous snake. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Well, I was hoping. Well, Carol, I'm beginning to think that a restart's probably one of the things I need. Shoot. Wow, the Erie Canal. They're talking about building the Erie Canal. I heard something about the Erie Canal the other day. And they talked about the fact that it was actually pretty much all dug by hand, which I thought was, never thought about that. Yep, dug by hand. Shovels and pickaxes. I don't think that pictures the canal, though. Those guys have on hard hats. I don't think they had hard hats back in 1825. But they did drill it by hand, which I thought, I just never had considered that. Brenda Diana's got got some quilts posted on her Facebook page. Well, I thought I had another source of pictures of the rally or the reunion, but I guess I don't. If I do, I can't find it. There's somebody at Ashanti Island, and all the ponies are laying down on the beach sleeping, rest in the sun, just like all the people. It looks like around here somewhere. Holy mackerel. There's somebody else with a great big giant snake. You know, I can't seem to get much of anything open. I think I'm going to have to reboot too. I just typed it into my browser. Here's the link. Okay, Carol, let me try that. Yay, there she is. Now I'm getting into it that way. See, I was using the address. I was trying to get in by the link they had on this brochure. There's the video that I showed earlier. There's the gallery. There's some pictures. Oh, there's a whole bunch of pictures. Oh, well, I'll get some more. Tony, hey, Tony O'Tower, good to see you. I think a lot of these pictures may have been taken before we got there. The room looks less crowded. Well, thanks, Carol. That at least got me in the right place now. Judy. That's her name, Judy Jarrett. Or Garrett. Well, there I am. You can just see the top of Brenda's head and my face from the nose up. Now, Carol, that's what I'm going to do. When I hang up here in a minute, I'm going to reboot everything. It bugs me because up until now, this is the first time I've really had any problem with my internet here in the library. It's been rock solid. Hey, there's a picture of me. Brenda, are you still in here? Yeah, you are. She knows I'm going to have to say goodbye, you lovely people. Great rest of your weekend. Take care. There I am. I think that's Brenda. So that picture's been reversed. No, I know what it is. She's taking it from the other end of the room. Okay. They did a smart thing, I thought. Maybe this is normal. Maybe it's just smart because I never thought of it. But they they made name tags for everybody, on a lanyard, and they put your name on it with the senior picture from the annual. Okay. Now I'm back, and here's the deal, guys. I love y'all. Thanks for hanging on today. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm gonna see if I can't fix this, and we'll be back here again next week to try it all over again. And I'm gonna get this show done. I've been trying to get this one show done for 3 weeks now. So I am going to get that and make it happen. So again, thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. If you're playing, if your favorite team's playing football today, I hope they win, unless they're playing University of Tennessee, and then I hope they lose. Sorry, not sorry. But everybody have a great weekend, and be safe out there, and we'll see y'all again real soon. Bye-bye.